This is Ryan Elliott for Boxing Social in association with Betfred. I'd like to be joined by Kalle Sauerland following big night of boxing tonight. First and foremost, how are you, Kalle? Had a good night?
Yeah, it was a good card, and I think there was some good fights on there. It was obviously it's been a tough 24 hours. We've been up all night trying to sort things out for Chris and what we're doing the next couple of weeks now, obviously. But yeah, the card itself was some really nice fights on there.
I imagine it's been a bit of a headache, kind of 24 hours for you. We'll come on to that in a bit, but let's start with the Wasserman fight as we saw earlier tonight. We'll start with Harvey Horn. I actually missed this fight because I was backstage, but nice to get him out under the lights, talk to you about his performance.
It's never nice going on a floater and right at the end, but what a crowd he brought in here. It was lively, it was party atmosphere during the fight. I thought he boxed well, given that he boxed very well, given that he has been out a long time, and was tough, to get those cobwebs off, and he came through it, and he'll be out again this year. And I think there's a big domestic fight. Obviously, the Sonny Edwards fight's the big one domestically, but Sonny's on the world level as well. That's somewhere where Harvey wants to get to. So you'd always look at the domestic big fights like that, but there's a lot of fights that way, and it's a great weight class.
Someone who I must say I really enjoyed watching tonight. I wanted to ask you about Linus Udofia. Really impressed under the lights again. What do you make of him?
It's the first time I've seen him live. Actually, first time I've seen Harvey, him and Razor live. So it was, for me, it was really good. I've been sitting here since 5:30 this afternoon, non-stop. I haven't missed a single fight. Watched all the other fights as well, not just our guys and girls. It was really good. And Linus, sharp. The thing that impressed me when I saw him live and not on tape before that, when I saw him live now, you see the speed and the accuracy, and he's a weapon. He's a weapon, and he'll go on and do things, I can say that about all three of them tonight, actually. I'll do the question for you. Razor, I felt he's been on edge all week, like it's a big stage once, and he's so excited. All of them so excited. Razor, for me, wanted it a bit too much the first couple of rounds. Then he settled down. I think the corner did a great job, and then he cruised the fight, but he was like a lion coming out of the cage the first couple of rounds, and that can sometimes it can work very quickly. But the opponent was a good opponent, and he took it, went the distance obviously, and was good rounds, good experience, and he was, I think, 2 heads taller than him, so. Was also an awkward opponent, but those, you don't need that experience. I said to all sorts of fighters, that stage of your career, you don't know what title you're going to fight for and what that opponent looks like. So whether he's tall, short, skinny, fat, fast, slow, you don't know. You can't. So the more experience you gain at that stage of your career with different types of opponents, fantastic.
Just to go back to Chris Eubank Jr., he should have been headlining tonight. Unfortunately, for medical reasons, the board decided not to clear his opponent. I'm sure you've spoken to him. How is he? How's he handled it?
He's cool, calm and collected as always, but he's disappointed inside. Of course, he wanted to get out there today, but he'll be out in a couple of weeks, and just working on that now. We'll announce that in the next few days. He's a true professional. Roy has seen it all before as well. I think that was a benefit today as well. I can't say that I've seen it before in 20 odd years of promoting boxing, that you get an opponent that, okay, COVID we haven't had for that long, but gets, let's say, sick the week before, bring in a replacement, and that replacement then is pulled out. He couldn't make it up the last night. We're still trying to save it. In the end, we decided to wait a couple of weeks, and we'll be announcing something in the next few days.
You mentioned you tried to save it at the last minute with Linus and his opponent on the bill around the same way. Was that one of the alternatives you tried to explore?
It was an alternative, and it's something that we discussed, and in the end we decided to, it was maybe one change too many, and sometimes it's better to wait and, also give the opponent a proper chance, of course. But it's been a long camp. I wouldn't say such a long, but a very difficult camp, thinking about what Junior's been through. So for us to tick that box now, it was really essential. We didn't get it, so we're gonna go and do that in the next couple of weeks.
Kalle, before I let you go, because it's very late, big one next weekend, heavyweight division, Tyson Fury, Deontay Wilder, the trilogy. Tell me how it goes down.
Well, it's huge in all sense of the words. It's not only a heavyweight fight, but it's a big fight. And we just had one last week, and we've got another one next week. That's fantastic for this whole sport. It goes all the way down to every level of boxing. Fantastic what the big guys are doing at the moment, and I'm very excited. I think my man Tyson's got it. I think he's got it. I wouldn't say he's got it in the bag, but which I would have said a year ago. For the simple reason I just don't know how everyone's fared out of this long layoff. But listen, Tyson is. I've said it many times before. He came out to sack a boxer. This is a fighting man. If you'll ever find one, he knows the sport inside out. He'll know what he's doing. He'll know how he's. I don't really think he has to do too much different. I don't know what Wilder can change in the third episode, because I think Tyson figured him out after the first fight. I think the second fight, we saw that the tactics were absolutely perfect. Forget the finish, it was the tactics that not letting him get off the back foot. Tyson pressed him, Tyson finished him, and I think it will go very similar again.
Kalle, thank you so much. Speaking of Boxing Social, have a good night.